Let's go back now to our top story, and the ANC in Mpumalanga has elected new leaders. Mandla Msibi, who was nominated last night, has won the post of provincial treasurer. You'll remember that Msibi has stepped aside due to the murder charges that he's currently facing. eNCA has obtained an exclusive interview with Mandla Msibi. Let's cross live now to eNCA's Lindokuhle Xulu. Lindo, I cannot wait to hear how exactly Mandla Msibi plans to navigate the difficult waters of facing a trial in as far as these charges are concerned, while at the same time performing the critical function of ANC treasurer in Mpumalanga.
That's right, Tulas. And in fact, one of the questions that I had coming here in my mind was to say, when are you stepping aside again? But it seems there's more to it, to this story, than what we had bargained for. And in fact, I just want to bring in the treasurer of the province of Mpumalanga. They're taking that comment with a smile, Tulas, I should say. But Babu Msibi, thank you so much for speaking to us. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. It is a difficult time, obviously, because you are on a step aside. I'm not going to ask about those things first. What I want to ask about is what I have witnessed firsthand. There at the conference, the members that have been elected, the provincial executive committee was sitting there. Your chair was empty. But watching it from the sidelines, knowing that you've been nominated, you accepted the nomination with a paper, with a letter, you have been elected now, you're watching from the sidelines because of that step aside. How did that feel?
Well, thanks for the opportunity, and afternoon to all our viewers. Well, ordinarily it would have been nice if we were in the conference, but because of these circumstances, the feeling is not nice, but yet we appreciate that we have been given an opportunity by the Congress of the ANC in Mpumalanga.
You've been elected by the branches, and you're saying that this is humbling because there are those that are nominated from the floor, hands go up, about 100 or so, but we are talking about your nomination that is over 100 branches that have nominated you. You said you are humbled by this.
No, we're humbled. It shows that the members of the ANC in the province has acknowledged the contribution we're making as a member of the ANC. So we have to acknowledge, because we are many in the African National Congress, and you are correct that there are many that are contesting, but the members of the ANC felt that we should give this one the opportunity. So I want to appreciate, and that's very humbling.
One of the things that I did say earlier on was to say, I was coming here to ask you, when are you sending a letter to provincial leadership to say, I'm stepping aside once more? But you are saying that that will be a process. We'll pause there for now. Talk to us about the docket that took you time, took you some doing to actually get. You have it right now on your hands, but talk to us about this docket that you have on your hand and what it has told you about your double murder case as well as attempted murder.
No, thanks. Look, we were called upon on the 10th of October, if you recall, that we must appear or hand over ourselves on the 11th of October. And immediately we arrived, we were charged with double murder and attempted murder. And we appear, you know, the story of being incarcerated for 8 days and whatnot. We got a bail. A date was set that on the 6th of December, the state was ready and the trial is going to continue. And the argument from the side of our attorney was that they were requesting to get a docket, because in terms of Criminal Procedure Act, defense must have the docket for their customer, for their client. Now, I couldn't get the docket. And then the case was postponed again to the 24th of February. And the reason that time was that they are taking the case to the DPP for a decision, something that they could have done before they charged me. Now, on the 24th, when we arrived, we found that there's a new prosecutor. And on the 24th, again, the state requested a postponement to the 1st of March. We respected the state again. When we arrived on the 1st of March, there was a new magistrate. And the decision, or the postponement from the 24th to the 1st, was that they want to give us the docket. When we arrived to the 1st, there was no docket. Now, you see, it is evident why they never wanted to give us the docket. And after a long arduous battle from the side of our legal team, we finally received it. This is a docket that we are having. Remember, in the charge sheet, I'm charged with double murder and attempted murder. In this docket, I had a time to show you the entire docket. There's nowhere I'm mentioned in the double matter in this docket. During the bail proceedings, our attorney asked, and even the magistrate asked the investigation officer, what does accused number 3, what does he need in the box? He said, according to my witness, that's what he said, the IO, accused number 3 has shot and injured one of the victim. And in this docket that you saw yourself, the victim himself, he's saying that he has been shot by an unknown man. I'm well known in the province. He could have said, I've been shot by Mandla Msibi. And he further said that the person who shot him didn't put on a mask. He can identify him. So I'm challenging you that you can also go to him and ask if, because I am known, who is that unknown person who have shot him. So as far as I'm concerned, I am not nowhere in this particular docket. Actually, the entire case is a fallacy.
We'll talk about the legal action that you are going to take then to challenge this docket by your lawyers. But let's start on the issue of the step aside. The question remains, are you stepping aside and how are you doing that?
Well, you step aside when you are charged. According to my layman knowledge, I'm not charged here. According to my layman knowledge. Now, when I engage with my legal team, they share similar sentiments. So there are 3 processes I'm going to engage on. The first process is that I'm going to request a meeting with the elected officials of the eNCA to present the charge sheet and this docket. That according to the docket, I'm not charged. That's the first thing. The second thing, I'm going to seek for their advice. If the ANC says, no, we see this, we are not charged, but even if so, please step aside. I will do it as the ANC is saying. So as I'm saying that it is a process which one will be able to undertake in the coming, because there's no time for us to wait anymore. Yeah.
So in terms of the guidance of the ANC, how I'm understanding it is that you are going to present this evidence to the elected leadership. They must guide you whether you need to step aside or not, so that you can act or not act in this new position of being a treasurer in the province.
So I'm saying that in my layman's understanding, I'm not charged in this docket. So the ANC has got its legal persona. The ANC will then be able to say, no, we'll take this to our legal team to seek an advice. If the understanding that I'm not charged, it means there's no need for me to step aside. But the ANC, if it gives me other guidance, I will take that guidance, including if I could step aside.
Let's talk about your lawyers. You said that they are applying their minds in terms of this, but they haven't told you what they're going to do with it. What is the intention there in terms of challenging this in a court of law?
In a court of law is that, I will make 2 practical examples. We were denied an opportunity to be given a docket first and foremost. Secondly, the matter was referred to the High Court through an indictment. And the postponement of the 24th was that we'll get the docket. Even on the day of the transfer of the matter to a court, we didn't have a docket even by that time. So to me, it's unfairly, because in my view, justice should be balanced and it should be fair and equal.
Yes. And now let's talk about the position of being a treasurer in the province. We've seen the ANC struggling with some of its finances, Luthuli House workers not being paid. We know that the province also needs to move on in terms of its roadmap to campaigning in the province for the ANC come 2024. The issue now of raising funds, the issue of managing, as you said earlier on, the resources of the province, the assets of the province. What is the plan to ensure that you have the necessary funds in your coffers to be able to do all of these tasks that lay ahead of you?
Look, the immediate task of our responsibility is to develop a framework within the legal framework of the decisions of those who must contribute to any other party to declare. That's the first part. But the second part will be to deal with the assets of the organization, both movable and immovable, and the liabilities of the ANC, so that we're able to make a determination whether what we are having currently as an ANC, as assets, are they viable for you to have them, so that if they're not viable, you dispose of. And therefore, you will have to develop what we call Treasurers Forum, where regional treasurers and all branch treasurers will be convening one forum, and we engage and discuss on how do we develop strategies to embark on the fundraising strategies of the ANC. Of course, we're going to do golf courses and whatnot, but within the framework that nobody must contribute more than 100,000 without declaring. So we've got a plan on that.
We are out of time. We are going to keep it very quick. Are you confident with the leadership that's been elected?
The best leadership has been elected in the province. These are tried and tested individuals, and I'm confident they are going to unite the ANC and move forward to change people's life of Mpumalanga. Because the struggle of the ANC is about the two motive forces, the poor and the working class. We must measure our success with these two.
Thank you so much, Baba. Mandla Msibi, former MEC of the province of Mpumalanga, but the current treasurer for the province. That all runs until he says that he will be consulting, asking for a meeting and presenting the docket that he said took time to get his hands on, but they finally have it. So he says that the step aside depends on what the guidance from the provincial leadership will say. So what he needs to do, he says that he'll be embarking on a process of presenting this docket as evidence that he did not commit double murder or even the attempted murder charge that he faces in court.
Right, Lindokuhle Xulu out in Emalahleni there with that exclusive interview with Mandla Msibi. You heard it there for yourself in terms of what his understanding of his status as a charged person in relation to whether or not he needs to step aside now that he's been elected a provincial treasurer of the ANC.